Hi, I'm here at Milken Institute Global Conference with Aloe Blacc. Many of you know him for his amazing music, but what many don't know is you're a co-founder in Major Inc.
Yes.
What is Major Inc?
Major Inc. is a biotechnology company focused on drug discovery and development, specifically in a category of molecule called peptoids. These are highly optimized peptides with really amazing drug candidate qualities that make them perfect for approaching, multiple indications across infectious disease, autoimmune disorder, and cancer. It's just a whole new approach to preventing disease and treating disease.
And what led you down this path? Like where was this always a passion, an interest of you in biotech, or sort of where did it come from and how did you get there?
I wasn't necessarily looking for a hard pivot from music to biotech, but I had contracted COVID, as many of us did during the pandemic. I was vaccinated and boosted, and I thought to myself, I would really like a preventative measure rather than an immune boosting measure with the mRNA vaccines. And so I started reading a lot of the scientific papers because I wanted the bleeding edge research from peer-reviewed publications telling me who the scientists are that are working on this kind of innovation. And I had an idea. When a virus doesn't enter a cell, it cannot commandeer the machinery to replicate. So we just need to block the virus from entering the cell.
Sounds simple, right?
It sounds simple. Turns out I found the scientists that were doing it by reading a whole host of papers and finding the very best solution, at least what I thought was the very best solution. I contacted the scientist. His name is Dr. Gomika Udugamasoria out of the University of Houston. He's a brilliant biological chemist, and he works in this class of peptidomimetics called peptoids. He uses them to modulate and treat cancer, but pivoted, like many scientists did during the pandemic, to see if his technology would work for COVID. That's where I found it. And believed in it, sponsored some in vivo research, so we wanted to be sure that it worked in a live mammal. We proved positive, and then had to figure out how do we translate this beyond the lab at the university? How do we turn this into something that is working, around the world?
Yeah. So where are you sort of in development? How far, again, when you think about, drug discovery, it sounds like a big thing. People think about phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, how expensive, how long it takes. Where are you on this journey?
So on the journey is strategizing the business development. We could certainly try taking any one of the 10 patents that Dr. Udugamasoria has up the hill to FDA approval, but that's it's a cash-intense operation, and it's also a very lengthy process because it takes a long time to do clinical trials if you even make it through the various phases. What I think we have is an opportunity to work with Big Pharma as a partner to be a companion drug, medicinal intervention, to be a delivery methodology and modality, and to also partner with them to be a drug discovery partner. Because this is what we do well and what we can operationalize, and what they do well is taking it all the way to commercialization.
Commercialization, scale, distribution, a lot of the hard work.
Exactly. But what they can't do is what Dr. Udugamasoria can do, which is have a drug lead that is highly target specific, which minimalizes the off-target effects, so that long laundry list of side effects that you see in most of the commercials, we're trying to minimize or eliminate those because of his really uniquely developed high throughput screening assay, which no one else has. And this is a class of drugs that is non-immunogenic, that is serum stable, that is shelf and room temperature stable. It is deliverable through IP, IV, aerosol. It's bioavailable, and we believe orally available, which is pretty much what you want for almost any drug. So I think we're in a great place, and the best thing that I can do is be the voice telling the world about this particular intervention so I can start working with partners.
Right. Amazing. So Worth, we talk a lot about how people are using their success and influence to make the world a better place. So obviously you're doing it sort of in biotech and pharma, but you're also using it in music as well. So you're working on a project where each of the tracks is inspired by a different nonprofit. Talk a little about how you came up with that idea and where you are with that.
You know, there's a great documentary out right now called One Night Only. It's about We Are the World and how that song came to be. My project really is, I think, following along in the legacy of We Are the World. The concept of writing a song that can become a sonic legacy for a nonprofit organization, an anthem for a nonprofit organization, or a particular social mission is something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I was lucky enough to work with an organization called Stand Together, which is a consortium of organizations that are being sponsored by high net worth people who really are trying to do the best with their money. And because I have this relationship, I thought, Stand Together is doing amazing work. How can we amplify what Stand Together is about? And so I thought, each of these organizations within the Stand Together umbrella, whether it's anti-recidivism or it's community gardening, or it's helping families that are losing their children and being able to wrap those children in the warmth of a good family that can take care of them. I want to be able to tell those stories. I want to be able to amplify their work so that there can be more investment, more donation, more engagement. And if you hear a song and that song leads you to that organization, then I've done my job. Or if that song inspires you to start your own organization in your neighborhood and get your community invested, then I've done my job.
Well, thanks for all the great work you're doing, and thanks
Right
for
on.
joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.